Browns predicted to draft generational talent to replace QBs Shedeur, Dillon Gabriel in ESPN's latest mock. The Browns finally reached a decision on who will be the franchise's starting quarterback this season, and the answer was the most likely of the options. Joe Flacco won the competition and will start at least in Week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals, leaving Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur as backups. But Flacco is not a long-term solution, and the franchise knows it will either need to develop one of its rookies or look for a new quarterback starting next year. In ESPN's latest mock draft, that answer comes as early as the 2026 draft, with a pick that would leave all fans excited. Browns predicted to select QB Arch Manning in 2026 NFL Draft. The Browns have been stuck in limbo since the Deshaun Watson project collapsed. He arrived with the expectation of immediately solving the long-standing problem at the position, but between injuries and a drop in performance, the outcome could not have been further from reality. The solution for 2025 was to bring in 4 quarterbacks during the offseason, with a 5th joining in the middle of the preseason, to build the quarterback room and figure out who would be the starter. That battle was won by Flacco, the most experienced of the group, now entering his 18th NFL season. However, Flacco is already in the final years of his career and provides only a serviceable floor of production, without the ability to raise the team's talent to a competitive level against NFL powerhouses. With that in mind, analyst Field Yates predicted in his latest mock draft that Cleveland could target Arch Manning in the next draft with the 1st overall pick. Manning has a very good build, throws with accuracy to all levels of the field, and shows solid movement traits. He's a different QB than his uncles Peyton and Eli were in that he is a threat with his legs. He is inexperienced and needs to add more weight to his 6'4" frame, but it's easy to see his immense ceiling, Yates wrote. Drafting another quarterback might come as a surprise, given that the franchise already selected Gabriel and Sanders in the last draft. However, both were mid-round picks, with Gabriel taken in the 3rd round and Sanders only in the 5th. The team doesn't seem committed to either young passer, nor impressed with what they have shown so far. I know the Browns just drafted 2 passers this year, but if they are picking 1st overall next year, then yes, they'll be taking a quarterback, Yates added. Selecting Manning would be an opportunity Cleveland simply couldn't pass up. Even in limited college action, he has already displayed tremendous potential, coming from a family that left its mark on NFL history. He would truly be a rookie quarterback the franchise could feel confident betting on, with the chance to make him the face of its future. They call it draft fever for a reason, a contagious, mischievous thing that spreads faster than tickets on opening day. ESPN's latest mock drops like a match into the dry brush of Cleveland conversation. The Browns, the piece says, are poised to draft a generational quarterback, a player so bright in prospect that he might tilt the franchise's axis and make the present-day quarterback carousel look like a warm-up act. For a city that writes ballad and obituary in equal measure, that sentence is both prayer and provocation. Picture the Browns' war room as a living map of impulse and inertia. There's a whiteboard full of plays like constellations, a spreadsheet with columns that never sleep, and a television looping tape at half speed like a hypnotist's pendulum. Joe Flacco is the steady lighthouse in one corner, reliable, seasoned, a voice of weathered calm. Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel are younger stars in different orbits. Raw charisma, practiced mechanics, headline-making flashes, and the quiet work of growth. Then the mock drops its meteor, a generational talent, a name that reads like mythology, and a scouting report that sparkles with adjectives. Suddenly, every calendar in the room seems to speed up. Mocks do more than predict. They invent futures and invite tensions. The decision before the Browns becomes theatrical. Build patience around the present. The rookie coffee, the mid-season corrections, the slow arc of development, or uproot the plot and chase lightning in draft form. It's not simply a choice about arm strength or 3-cone times. It's a choice about identity. Do you become the team that bets on the patient craft of development, or the team that wagers the present on a headline that promises dynasty? Fans choose their own narratives with ferocious loyalty. In barbershops and group chats, opinion divides like synchronized waves. Some fans lean into the comforting hum of continuity. Let Shedeur grow. Let Dillon keep refining. Others want the comet, a spectacular pick that rewrites the team's biography in a single night. The mock becomes a talisman for both camps, a mirror in which hope and impatience glare back. That's the beauty of it. The mock isn't a verdict, it's a conversation starter, and Cleveland loves to argue. On the field and behind closed doors, the mock's ripples are intimate. Imagine Shedeur waking to headlines that flatten him into a phrase. Replaced by generational pick. That stings, of course, but it also sharpens. He goes to the film room with the quiet desperation of someone who knows narratives can be rewritten with work. Dillon, meticulous and methodical, treats the mock like a textbook. He studies the strengths of the phantom prospect for craft, not for grievance. Both are characters in a story that refuses to give them short shrift. They aren't props to be displaced. They're players with agency, pride, and a locker full of unfinished sentences. Scouts and GMs, meanwhile, talk like philosophers and statisticians all at once. Generational is a dangerous adjective. It demands patience, context, and a tolerance for myth. The lineage of legends is littered with near misses and miracles. A name with sparkle on a mock isn't a guarantee. It's an invitation to weather, to coaching fit, to luck and timing. If you draft a legend, you inherit expectations that live far longer than one contract. If you pass and develop, you inherit the slow, stubborn work that sometimes yields a different kind of greatness. There's also a cinematic twist. The thing ESPN calls a mock becomes the city's campfire story. It makes plausible futures feel immediate, and it forces choices into dramatic relief. The Browns' front office becomes a character in its own right, torn between the safe scaffold of continuity and the dangerous beauty of swinging for the stars. That tension is precisely what sports thrive on. The game of decisions, the gamble, the one-night cliff where fortunes are remade. In the end, whether Cleveland drafts the generational talent the mock teases or stands by Shedeur and Dillon, the story remains deliciously the same. It's a story of faith, in players, in process, in the strange calculus of chance. It's a story about a city that will cheer, grieve, debate, and rewrite its own mythology until the final whistle blows. For now, the mock sits on the kitchen table of the fandom like a prophecy wrapped in a rumor, dramatic, debatable, and impossibly fun. Let the debate start. Let the players respond. In Cleveland, every draft pick is the opening line of the next great local epic, and the fans will be there to hear it read aloud.